Come into seated on your mat. There's no right way to be in your space. Sitting into the knees, sitting cross-legged, half lotus, full lotus. Just find a space that comes naturally to you. And start to shift into your body. Maybe gently swaying front and back, side to side, until you find a point of balance. In this practice, we'll be looking to find balance between that strong side of us and our soft side. Finding our balance, embracing our balance, loving our balance, loving both sides of us, embracing our dualities. Allow the breath to start to flow. Let it be with ease and comfort, not expectation or direction. Find space in your body to breathe evenly throughout. In through the belly, out through the ribs, the back body. Expand everywhere as that breath fills you. If Ujjayi breath is right for you, seal through the lips. Find your inhales and exhales flowing in and out through the nostrils. And while you create structure with your bones, setting shoulders on top of hips, hips rooting down into the sit bones, rooting down into the mat. Allow everything else to be soft and fluid. Allow that breath to rise and fall. Let that connection with the soft and strong to build from the breath. As you're ready, no rush, no hurry to move there. Start to make your way into the all fours position, creating that strength, that structure, that stability with alignment. Shoulders finding themselves right over top of wrists. Fingers spread wide, create connection down through the hands. Hips find their way right over top the knees. Allow the tops of the feet to press into the mat. Acknowledge what is creating the strength, the structure. And then on your breath, let everything else become fluid. Let it become dynamic as you move through cat-cows to start to open and invite movement into your body. Know that with that structure, with that alignment, you create safety to then build, to draw in, to invite your softness. Swaying hips side to side, allowing hips to drop towards heels. Any type of movement. Allow yourself to ask for what you need. Allow yourself to grant that. Finding your way back through neutral, no rush, no hurry to get there. Step both feet back into a high plank and cycle down through to your belly. Open up into a gentle cobra. Exhale, down back into the mat. Press back up through all fours. Find child's pose just for a breath. Pull this back forward on an inhale, high plank. Again, flowing down to the belly or to chaturanga. Inhale up and open. Exhale, flip over toes, downward dog. Allow knees to drop. Sit bones towards heels. Inhale, breathe this forward. High plank one last time. Cycle down and through. Inhale, open. Exhale, flip over the toes. Downward dog. Hold here. Find your breath. Allow some movement into the backs of the legs. Create warmth and heat, ambition with that movement, with that breath. And within that, grant permission to take breaks, to be vulnerable, to be soft. Draw this forward, high plank. Drop knees. Sink back, child's resting pose. Big deep breath in here. And exhale, let it go. Draw yourself forward through all fours. High plank. And exhale, hips high, downward dog. Breathe your right leg up into space. With control, draw that knee through, skim the belly, step it in between the hands. Breathe here, find structure in your runner's lunge. As you're ready, flatten through the back left foot, windmill with grace up through your warrior two. Give yourself a moment to adjust your stance, build your roots downwards, find stability, find strength, and then ease into the posture. Rooting down through big toe mounds, drawing that right knee to the pinky toe side of the foot. Don't let it collapse inwards. Be strong. Melt. Flip hands, right fingertips come towards the sky, left fingertips down the back leg. Gaze can be up towards those right fingers or down towards the back left foot. Breathe in through that right side body. And then allow the exhale to melt this into your extended side angle. Right arm into the right thigh. Open left shoulder, create space for breath. Left fingertips can draw up towards the sky. If there's space, that right hand can find its way down into the mat. Left fingertips can come all the way overhead. Breathe here, sit into that challenge. Sit into the sensation. For 3, for 2, and 1. Press into that front right leg. Reverse your warrior. Straighten through the right knee. And then allow this to melt forward. Soften into your Trikonasana, your triangle pose. Again, open through that left shoulder. Left fingertips can reach. Right hand can rest into the shin, the floor, a block. Open here. Be soft within your strength. Find your dualities. Exhale, left hand down into the mat. Turn into the ball of that back left foot. Hold here in your runner's lunge. Breathe for 3, for 2, and 1. Root down through the hands, step right toes back, high plank. Hold here. Be strong. For 3, for 2, and 1. Hips come high, downward dog. Breathe. Find movement. Find stillness. Find what your body asks for. As you're ready, tippy toe walk feet towards the top of the mat. Breathe in, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Breathe in, fly hands high. Exhale, melt. Let it go. Step both feet back, high plank. Cycle down and through. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, pressing back. Walking your hands towards your feet. Heel toe wide out to the edges of the mat. Let your toes turn out, your heels towards one another, and sink down into a gentle squat. So if this means staying up a little bit higher, we find strength. If it calls to you to sink and soften, then we soften. Breathing here. For 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, hips high. Walk feet back underneath you and let this go. Get heavy in your forward fold. Engage up through the thighs, press down through the big toe mounds. Let the head go heavy. Trust the structure you've built underneath you and let everything else go. Breathe into half, bend into the knees. Heel to walk feet so that big toes come to touch. Step that right foot behind the left heel so that pinky toes come to touch. And then just allow this to swivel you around. Come to face the back of the mat. Breathe in, get long. Exhale, root down through the hands. Walk your feet. High plank, down through low plank. Inhale up. Exhale, pull back, downward dog. Inhale that left foot up into the space behind you. And bring it through to plant in between the hands. Stay here for a moment. Root down through your feet. Build your structure. Find your strength. And then as you're ready, flatten through that right foot. Windmill hands up overhead. Warrior 2. Adjust your stance as needed. Create that structure. And then soften and melt. Breathe left fingertips high. Right fingertips down the back leg or to the left side body. Breathe in through those left ribs. And then exhale Left forearm onto left thigh. Open that right shoulder. Bring hand high overhead, or let it drip the bicep over the ears. If you need a little bit more depth for sensation, we drop that left hand down to the mat, down into a block. Create that structure, create that support so you can melt into the posture. Gather up strength, press down through that left leg, windmill this back up, reverse your warrior, straighten through the left knee, cock hips back towards the right, fingertips melt into your triangle. Again, find that space, that structure underneath you, whether it's a block, hand into the shin or thigh. Build the posture that allows you to be you. Holding here for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale, windmill right hand down. Come up into the ball of that back right foot. Grow your roots down, step left toes back, high plank. Hold here. Create your structure, create your strength. Soften everywhere else. Know that the roots you've built beneath you allow you to be buoyant. For 3, for 2, for 1. Press hips high. Downward dog. Find movement if that calls to you. Find stillness if that calls to you. Be open, be raw, be vulnerable with what you need. Give that to yourself. With strength, we start to walk hands back towards us so that they meet our feet at the back of the mat. Again, breathe length, Ardha Uttanasana. Breathe depth. Breathe softness, melt down. Come up through half. Gentle bend into the knees, heel toe walk the feet towards one another until big toes touch. This time that left foot tucks itself around the right. Pinky toes come to touch, and then start to walk hands off towards the left. Spin on the balls of your feet. Right yourself on your mat. Breathe in, come half. Exhale, plant hands, step back. High plank and hold. Working from toes or knees, your option. Here for 3 breaths. And then again, working at your own space, lowering to chaturanga for 3, for 2, for 1. Holding 3, 2, 1. We press. 3, 2, 1. Hips high, downward dog. Embrace that strength, that effort. And then allow this to come forward. Drop the knees, spread them nice and wide. Toes touch, melt, child's resting pose. Embrace that rest. Embrace that softness. Big deep breath in. Exhale, side out the mouth, let it go. Again, one more time. Big deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. As you're ready, come forward. Root hands, tuck toes, downward dog. Breathe that right foot up into the space behind you. Draw it through forward for pigeon. Right knee, right wrist, right ankle, somewhere between the left hip and left wrist. Give yourself a moment, give yourself space to come upright here. Building props, blocks underneath your right hip. And if this is completely not for you, then we just come into a seat and cross figure 4, drawing that right foot back towards our shin. 2 options here. So again, giving yourself a moment to stay upright, square through the hips. Find comfort, find strength here. And then as you're ready, allow this to start to melt forward. A block underneath the forehead is a beautiful option. The pressure in that space between the eyebrows creates a release of tension, taking us from the sympathetic nervous system into the parasympathetic. So although we create strength and structure in our postures to ensure safety, alignment, we work to melt and to find ease. So find that space that connects with your body. Work to try and keep the right foot flexed back towards the shin. This engagement creates safety around the knee joint. Otherwise, trust that your body is supported. Find softness, find relaxation. Here for 3 nice long deep breaths. As you're ready, press into the hands. Start to gently, gradually move yourself back up. Create structure, create strength, root down. Tuck under those back left toes and gently draw yourself out of the posture back into downward dog. Allow yourself time, allow yourself space here to create whatever movement feels right, whether it's pedaling through the feet or maybe big hip circles, maybe taking fire hydrant. Allow this time and space to be exactly what your body needs. For 3, for 2, and 1. Breathe the left leg up, back up behind you. Bring it through into your pigeon. Again, create space to build the posture. Not everything will look the same side to side. Allow yourself the differences that are built into your body from anatomical structure, from injuries. Don't force it. Don't push. Just create space. Again, if this forward-facing pigeon isn't for you, we come back onto our bums, cross left ankle over right knee, and draw that in to create the same sensation. When you're ready, let this start to melt forward. Again, moving slowly, being curious, not making assumptions. Working towards an equality of sensation, not necessarily an equality of visual. So that means we're looking for things to feel the same. They don't have to look the same. Give yourself that space in day-to-day life. Some days, that strong self will feel right. Some days, that soft self will feel right. Allow yourself the space to honor whatever portion of yourself feels right. Breathing here. As you're ready, starting to create strength underneath you. Walking back up, tucking under those back right toes, creating lift, creating buoyancy, not just in your body, but in your heart. And again, allow yourself the space to move however you need to move in this moment. Pedal through the feet, take hip circles, rock star, whatever feels right. It doesn't have to mirror the other side. Be open, be curious, honor yourself. When you're ready, float this back through high plank. Let knees drop and sit back into your heels. If you have a bolster, find a bolster. A rolled up blanket will work equally nicely. Blocks will work equally nicely. A thick book, a towel. We're going to bring our bolster, blocks, towel, blanket underneath our bums. And then carefully, very gently, we're going to allow ourselves to kind of recline back behind us. So you'll want your bolster aligned right underneath your hips, kind of in between your bum and your low back. You'll need to work just to find that balance point, because then when you lift your feet, they will float. If this isn't comfortable, you can skip the bolster and just bring yourself right up against the wall for legs at the wall. But allow yourself to find this place of balance. The structure of our body, the softness of our hearts, the duality between us, the masculine, the feminine. Allow yourself to find balance and embrace that balance. It doesn't always have to be half and half. On any given day, maybe that balance is skewed one way or the other. Embrace that. Embrace who you are. Embrace how you change. Embrace how you stay the same. There is no right way. There is no perfect. We move on our mats. We breathe. We practice. All of these ideas, all of these philosophies, all of these fundamentals, and we call them a practice, because there's no perfect, there's no perfection, whether we're here on our mat or in our lives. All we can do is create space to try to be open, find openness in our hearts, in our minds, as we balance our strong and our soft. When you're ready, draw your knees in towards the chest, and then allow the feet to meet the mat. If it's comfortable, you can slip that bolster so that it finds its way underneath the knees. And then allow yourself to rest. Create softness throughout your body as you trust the strength and the structure beneath you. Create breath, and let that breath create softness. Rest here for the next moment, and I'll bring your attention back when we're ready. Start to draw your attention back up to the surface. Breathe some big belly breaths before doing anything else. Create that movement, that softness right into your core. And know that although that breath is constrained within your physical structure, the softness of your heart doesn't have to be constrained by anything. Allow some movement into the fingers and toes. Gently draw the knees up into the chest. You can walk your bolster away with your feet if you have it. And just rock little circles side to side through the low back. One way and then the other. And then just allow this to fall off to one side or the other into fetal position. Dig deep into yourself and ask yourself who you are. Ask yourself where your strong self shines through, where your soft self shines through. And find gratitude for that duality. Gently press into the hands, coming up into an easy seated position. Hands can find their way in through heart center. Again, take a moment here to feel the structure of the body. Feel the sit bones root down into the mat and allow that to move up through the low back, the mid back, the upper back and neck. And know that that structure, that strength is there for you. But see if you can find softness within it. Give yourself a moment to honor who you are, to honor your balance. And we'll close with a namaste.